Okay, next up is a film called Cyrus, and this is a really, really creepy, funny, dark comedy about a man and boy love. Not for each other, though. Oh no. And this is where this movie gets interesting. Now, Jonah Hill enters this film with a polite smile that is likely to send a chill down your spine and make you clutch your purse if you're a woman. He is, Jonah Hill, in my opinion, is one of the most talented actors in Hollywood today, and that may be a bold statement, but he really just has such a great energy about himself that I just cannot get enough of this kid. And really, he just leaves you wanting more from his characters, no matter how much or how little he's in any movie. Now, he's, as a title character, his name is Cyrus. He's a 21-year-old man-child with, a manic stare and an endless supply of neatly laundered button-down shirts, and a seriously unhealthy attachment to his mother. He looks like the kind of guy who's been setting fire to neighborhood cats and sticking dynamite in dogs' mouths, or I guess cherry bombs or whatever. That's the best way to put it. Now, the one everybody says seems so nice after the cops dig up the bodies. And again, Jonah Hill's best known for playing, testy, smart alecky, wisecracking characters in many of the Judd Apatow films. But Judd Apatow is nowhere to be found in this film, so Jonah Hill is really trying to strike it out on his own. Now, he really channels the spirit of almost a comedic Norman Bates here. Of course, Norman Bates being the infamous character from the Psycho films, and really just pushes this comedy into borderline horror. Now, Cyrus doesn't use knives when he goes for the jugular. He does flash one in one of the movie's funniest moments, so I won't give too much away. But his weapons of choice are his trembling lips and watery eyes, which he uses against his single mother, Molly, played by Oscar winner Marissa Tomei, who is, as always, fantastic here. Now, with brutal efficiency together, they really just have such a really good way that they play off each other as a relationship in this film. I think it was almost like his mother just doesn't know what to make of it, but it seems that that's all she has is her son, and so she just lets it go. Now, together they live in a trim little bungalow in Los Angeles, far from the city's, moneyed hills and whatnot. And, there's something generic about their house, which looks like it was lived in then and differently art directed. With the usual, yada yada yada, strategic family pictures, cliches. There's really something generic about this movie too, and that is it has a dreary, dimensionless digital photography that just dribbles on from character to character. But yet I can overlook that. Now the joke, however, here is pretty killer. Cyrus, well, let's just say, has a lot of issues, and this is, of course, the movie takes off when we enter the character of John, played by John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly, a very talented, comedic actor who can really sell confused and befuddled looks, and he uses a lot in this movie. In my opinion, he's a great actor himself. Now, of course, him and Molly meet at the party, as the movie goes, and the way they meet is really hilarious. I won't give too much away, but she finds him charming, and she just enjoys his company. He's very, I guess you could say, almost like not quite, more likable version of Ben Stiller's character in Greenberg. He seems very disenchanted with modern society, but at the same time isn't completely miserable. And Molly is a conceit, not necessarily a character. It means to, you say, what's the word I'm looking for, a narrative end or whatever. She flirts with John in very funny ways, then joins him on the dance floor, and then, So, of course, a couple is born, and Cyrus is not laughing. Now, the writer-directors of this film are brothers Jay and Mark Duplass. Now, they don't know much about women and don't seem to care enough about Molly's character, but Marissa Tomei still does her absolute best with this character and tries to make it into something more. This movie's heart, if not its focus, has taken a great outline for a character with, a smother mother and possibly a psycho adult son, and filmed it with the gently, what's the word I'm looking for? Melancholic, yeah, that's the word. That worked so well in the Wrestler, but the Duplesses exploit Marissa Tomei's physicality less, I guess you could say, much less than that movie did. Now, here, I guess you could say, her attractiveness serves a story because it embodies the unspeakable undertow of the movie's, mother and son dynamic. Now, Cyrus, is a film where it really touches on hot button issues, but does it in a very sophisticated way. this movie almost seems like a mixed bag, despite some of its faults. I mean, there's so many things great about it, but then there's so many things just not great at all. I mean, there's some great stuff with the actors here. John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill are natural, and Jonah Hill and Marissa Tomei play so well off each other, despite Tomei's poorly written character somewhat. Now, it's weird, I guess that may not make a lot of sense, but at the same time, it just does. I guess I could say Jonah Hill is just bringing out the best in Tomei's character. Also, the developments and the situations go on here that they could have been used almost in a sophisticated sitcom way, like in The Office, but thankfully they don't go too far down that road. Now, I gotta say that they create a lot of interesting characters in here. You still understand despite the confusion of what is going on. Now, we gotta say that also I enjoyed Catherine Keener as pretty much one of the most happening older women in films, I gotta say, and she plays of course John's ex-wife, who's very tolerant, I might add, and she really makes that character enjoyable. I wish we would have seen her a bit more on screen. Either way, Cyrus is an interesting study of relationships that go a little too far. And I think that the actors are fantastic here, especially Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill really makes his mark in this film. So I give Cyrus 3.5 stars out of 5.